Be ready. 5 seconds. Start. Sir, the House would recall that when I introduced the Constitution 64th Amendment Bill, I had said that government intended to bring forward in the monsoon session major legislation relating to the urban local bodies. We are now fulfilling the commitment. Already in common parlance, the bill I introduced in the last session is called the Panchayati Raj Bill and this the Nagarpalika Bill. Allow me, sir, to use these familiar names rather than the somewhat difficult official titles. The Nagarpalika Bill supplements the Panchayati Raj Bill. The theme of this bill is the same as that of the other constitutional sanction for maximum democracy and maximum devolution. Even as we see the strengthening of the Panchayati Raj system as the key to eliminating the power brokers from the life of rural India, so do we see this bill as the key instrument for reducing and eventually eliminating the role of the power brokers in urban India. We seek through these bills to vest power in the only place where power rightfully belongs in a democracy, in the hands of the people. In the past few days, we have been said witness to the gravest assault on democracy since the founding of our republic, the abandonment of the Lok Sabha by a section of the elected representatives of the people. In the last general elections, the people gave the Congress an overwhelming mandate to govern the country for the 5 years. In the same elections, they returned a few opposition members to occupy the opposition benches for the same 5 years. The members of the opposition were elected to fulfill the vital democratic function of contesting the government and its policies right here on the floor of this house, not in the streets or in the columns of newspapers. We respect these democratic and independent minded members of the opposition who are here with us today to democratically debate the issues of fundamental national importance which I shall be raising. By the same token, we must deplore the behavior of those other members of the opposition who have simply run away from this highest forum. They have abused these noble institutions. They have violated their mandate. They have betrayed their constituents. They have eroded democracy itself. Why have they tried to destroy democracy in Parliament? I have no doubt that it is primarily because they could not bear to see democracy proper here. The people will, of course, consign to the dustbin of history those who have resigned the seats to which they were elected to the present Lok Sabha. Yet, this only increases the responsibility of those of us who have remained in this house to strengthen the foundation of our democracy. Democracy in Parliament and in the state legislatures remains fragile so long as the roots of our democracy do not reach down to the villages and muhallas where the people live. Our constitution detailed the provision for democracy in parliament and in the state legislatures. Therefore, democracy in these institutions has survived every vicissitude and flourished. However, our constitution did not make democracy in local self government a constitutional obligation. And so, democracy in the panchayats and nagarpalikas has withered at the roots. With these two bills, we shall ensure that the democracy at the grassroots no longer will democracy is local self government be a passing political pastime. Through these bills, democracy in local self government becomes a solemn constitutional obligation, an obligation that can neither be outcasted nor flouted for reasons of expediency or indifference. We wanted to come to this house only after consulting all the chief ministers. Tragically, but in keeping with their position to avoid democratic discussions, all but two of the non Congress chief ministers stayed away from the discussions. Many of them refused to let the elected representatives of their parties participate in the Nagarpalika Sammelans, and I believe one of them has dismissed some of those who participated in those discussions. They denied permission to their municipal officers to attend the conference of municipal officers called by the Ministry of Urban Development. We have done our best. We have done all we can to involve them in a nationwide debate. They say there must be consensus before the constitution is amended, but refuse to come for a discussion. How can a consensus be forged without dialogue? Their non cooperation notwithstanding, we come to Parliament at the end of the widest and most intensive series of consultations undertaken in the history of independent India. I have personally interacted with over of 25,000 knowledgeable and experienced persons, most of whom are elected representatives of the people before coming to this house with the Panchayati Raj and Nagarpalika bills. Times out of number, we have stressed that this is not a center state issue. Why should the constitutional enshrinement of democracy in the panchayats be a bone of contention between the center and the state? Why should reservations for the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes and women be a matter of confrontation between the center and the state?